Hi there, this is Donna Kozik. I'm the founder of MyBigBusinessCard.com, creator and leader of the original Write a Book in a Weekend program. But today I'm here to talk about the Community Book Project. I'm the lead editor of the Community Book Project. We've recently published our third edition called A Gift of Gratitude, and I'm happy to be interviewing three of the contributors today. So a little bit about the Community Book Project. What it is a little bit like it sounds, where a bunch of people get together and contribute an essay around a certain theme. And this theme, of course, is gratitude, as we're entering Thanksgiving week here in the States, and just a really great feeling of appreciation and thankfulness in the air. And I wanted to bring on three of the people who contributed to the book and tell you a little bit about them, read their entries, and then we're going to have little conversations with them as well. You can find the edition of this Community Book Project on Amazon. Just search for A Gift of Gratitude. You'll see a cheery cover that's white with a tree of hands on the cover. And if you would like to take part in the next Community Book Project, you can go to thecommunitybookproject.com and register, and then you'll be alerted about our next book. All right, so today we're talking to Judy Reed, Roberta Gold, and Holly Pitus, and we're going to start with Judy, and I'm going to start by reading Judy's piece that she submitted for A Gift of Gratitude. The title is For Such a Time as This, and her quote at the top comes from Esther 4:14 and says, "Who knows but that you have come to a royal position for such a time as this." And then Judy writes, "Have you ever become angry at what you thought was an injustice? Have you desperately wanted someone to do something about it? For me, it is an escalation of pornography in our culture and its effects on women and families. I cried out to God, 'Why don't you do something?' He replied, 'I did. I made you.' In January of 2017, my state legislature faced the opportunity to pass a resolution recognizing pornography as a public health hazard. Many people mock this concept. Since my lifetime passion has been for the respect and dignity of women, at 73 years old, I felt God was choosing me to take the risk and advocate on its behalf. I had a story. I had the stories of others. Nervously, I seized the moment to speak before one of the committees. I prepared my 3-minute testimony, determined to be grateful. The committee members had been bombarded with hostility and overloaded with statistics. I wanted to be different. My first words to them were, 'Thank you for the courage to consider passing this legislation.' They listened intently. My final words were, 'I sincerely thank you.' Gratefully, that night, it passed." And that's a piece from our Judy Reed. And Judy, thank you so much for submitting that for the Community Book Project.
Thank you, Donna.
Yes, and it takes some courage all the way around, I will say, for you to be, and I know you're such an advocate for women and for what is right and just in this world. And could you tell us a little bit about why you're so passionate about this subject?
I'd love to share part of my story. As a young girl, my major exposure to pornography was being trapped in a car in a drive-in movie with XXX film playing. It was quite traumatic. It caused low self-esteem. The images were permanently embedded in my mind. There was a lack of trust growing up, and it harshly affected my development and just my view of life. So for the last 50-some years, I've just scrutinized the invasion of pornography into our culture and the effects of it. I've heard stories from other people, and it's a real concern for me. And that's a long time to be focused on one particular issue.
For sure. You know, I agree with you, and I so feel for you that this can be not only a hard subject to bring up, but a difficult one where people might kind of laugh or snicker around it. But I know you. I've known you for years now, and I know how traumatic that must have been, and even probably having a form of PTSD, I would say, after something like that happens. Out of the blue. So I give you a lot of kudos for stepping up and speaking about this. And in fact, you spoke in front of the state legislature. So how did that come about?
I stay connected with national and local organizations that have pornography as well as sexual exploitation issues as part of their organization. And when we found out that this bill was coming up in Virginia, it was just a natural melding of our efforts to go down together and address this issue.
Mhm. And yeah, what a way really for the rubber to hit the road, right? For you to go and publicly speak about this subject to people who could listen and actually do something about it. So really quite incredible. You know, Judy, also I want to give you an opportunity to speak a little bit about this. I know that your faith plays a big part, a big role in your life. Can you talk about how that even associates with the subject that you wrote your essay about?
Yeah, let me just quickly say that I was in front of a committee of which there was one member hostile to passing the legislation, but because of my testimony, he found me later outside of the committee, and he said, I just wanted to let you know that I was going to vote against this resolution until I heard your testimony, and so I changed my vote.
See, isn't that the wonderful benefit of being brave? So
yeah,
so
it was pretty incredible and unexpected. In terms of how my faith affects all this, I see particularly women being viewed and treated as sex objects in today's culture as just pieces of flesh and lust versus love. And God says that we were created as his masterpiece, and we are to be viewed and treated with respect and valued.
Mhm. Mhm. So again, just really taking that to heart and taking your message out there. Beautiful, Judy. Thank you so much for participating in the Community Book Project and A Gift of Gratitude. And where can people find out more about you?
I'm at www.women, WOMEN, of OF value, VALUE, .org. So that's womenofvalue.org. And can I read my scripture verse real quick before we leave?
Sure.
It's from Philippians 4:8. Whatever is true, noble and right, pure, lovely, and admirable, whatever is excellent or praiseworthy, think on these things. And that applies to having the everyday joy, which is part of your community series, and also seeing life as through the gift of gratitude.
Absolutely. Thank you again, Judy. I really appreciate you.
Thank you, Donna.
All right. Again, that was Judy Reed of womenofvalue.org.